What's going down? What's going down? It's your boy, Slick Talk Boss, Monster Boss, aka Josephus. Know what I mean? Let me stop, y'all. I'm just thinking about something, yo, that's really kind of funny. Josephus, Kaleb, Israel. I mean, but actually the monster, you heard the boss. Real quick, it's not even gonna take probably 5 minutes. Probably not 5 minutes at all. I'm gonna spend more time just yapping right now than probably. But I just wanted to go over Matthew 5:17 and 18. I might dip a little bit into 19 too, but I'm really here to do Matthew 17 and 18 because a lot of people misuse the scripture a lot, and some, I think some doing it purposely, and I think a lot though just really don't understand it and can't really decipher and look in between. See if I can just tap on it a little bit and give a little clarification to it today. I mean, I want to say shalom, peace and blessings to anybody that's in here, that's taking the time out of their evening to check this out. It won't be long anyway. So I've dealt with Christians. I've dealt with the Black Hebrew Israelite community, Mormons, everything, like you name it, Latter-day Saints, whatever. I've studied with some of everybody, Jehovah Witnesses, throughout my life. I was actually a Muslim before myself and everything. So I've always been trying to seek the truth, right? My whole thing is I want to seek the truth. I want to know the truth. I always wanted to seek the face of the Most High. So I've always been researching and trying to find out, what the truth. I always wanted to know what the beginning was like, what the ending will be like, all those type thought processes. And I went through some trials and tribulations that got me real close to the Hebrew Israelite community and stuff like that. I had family members subjected into it, which kind of made me subject myself into it to get further understanding. And in my research and my studies, I came to a whole clearer understanding about a lot of stuff. And I actually stopped being a Muslim based on the information that I was researching. But what I did notice about people utilizing Matthew, was it 5:15? I mean to say 5:17 and 18. What I noticed about it, right, is they, like a lot of people that like to follow the Mosaic covenant and the Mosaic laws and all that other stuff. And if that's one of you guys, I don't want to offend you, but I know those days are been gone, right? Because it tells us right here, and the one that they try to use to prove that you're supposed to do it, it actually proves just the opposite. It gives us the time and the day when we're supposed to stop doing it. And if we know history, we know that you're supposed to stop doing it. Some people think you're supposed to stop doing those laws when Christ got hung on a tree or whatever you want to call it, the cross, but it's the tree or whatever. And that was incorrect too. And I'm not going into that right now today. But what I do want to do is go into the true meanings of Matthew 5, 17 and 18. Right. So what they do is they use this line I'm about to say. They try to use it to say that he didn't come to destroy the Mosaic laws and commandments and all that. So let me read it for you. It says, think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy. And then I'm going to leave off the end, right? Because that's what they do. They leave off the end. So that's their proof. See, Christ said he didn't come to destroy, the law. But because they don't continue reading, right? And they always try to skip over or speed past the next part and really don't give it real understanding. So what was said by Christ is that, think not that I came to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. So he's letting you know he didn't come to destroy the law or the prophets. He came to fulfill the laws and the prophets, meaning whatever the prophets spoke of, he is the fulfillment of it. That's what he came to do. His existence is the fulfillment of it, basically. You know what I mean? Of the law and of the prophet, because every part of the law in the Mosaic covenant embodied what he wound up teaching when he came. You know what I mean? The spiritual, the non-carnal way, because Israel thought of it the carnal way back in the Mosaic covenant days, back when it was in the wilderness, and then all the years that they spent once they occupied the land on that land promise, they went ahead and thought the carnal lessons out of those law, statutes, and commandments is what they had to do. Didn't understand it was trying to whip them in shape to a mental or spiritual type effect, right? So he simply said it right here. Think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. So that's letting you know he came to fulfill. Now, let's go on to the next one. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass. Now, if anybody actually know the literature, right, the idioms, they know what heaven and earth means. For anybody that's, no disrespect, under the misconception that they're talking about the sky, like the blue sky falling and the planet Earth being destroyed, unfortunately, you're mistaken in your studies, right? So heaven is actually the powers that be in Jerusalem at the time is who he's referring to by the heavens. And the earth is Jerusalem, like the land mass, right? So earth is actually land when you see it in the Bible, right? It's actually land. It's not the planet. It's not what we think here in the 21st century of what we know the word earth means. We have to study the culture and how they communicated 2,000 plus years ago to understand what they were saying. And earth meant the land. It means land mass. You know what I mean? And then they was talking about, a lot of times the world is either talking about age or they're talking about the known world to them, which would have been surrounding Jerusalem. But that's another story for another day. So right here, back to what I said, for verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass. So until the powers that be of Jerusalem and Jerusalem get destroyed, right? Basically, right? One jot or one tittle shall no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled, right? So it's letting you know, at that time, they had to continue to do the Mosaic law, right? Until the powers that be, meaning the heavens, and the earth, meaning Jerusalem, and the temple, got destroyed. You had to do the Mosaic law until then, until all be fulfilled. Now, some people saying, everything fulfilled means what? Everything fulfills means what? Like, everything hasn't been fulfilled in the Bible. Yes, it has, right? You don't have to agree, but yes, it has. Like this, I'm going to go back and reread these two statements, these two verses, to prove just in these two verses that we cannot futurize anything he said. We cannot bring it to now, right? Because what he's saying in verse 17, let's go back to Matthew 5, verse 17. He said, think not that I am come to destroy. So that means he has come. At that time he come, not that I will come. He didn't say that I will come. He said, don't think that I have come to destroy the law or the prophets, right? And then he reiterates it. I have come, not I will come. I have come to destroy, I'm sorry. I am not come to destroy, but fulfill. So he didn't come at that time to destroy it. He came at that time to fulfill it. There is no futuristic thought process there. There is no I will come back sometime 100, 500, 3,000, 2,000, 2 million years from now to fulfill these things. He acknowledged at that time he had come to fulfill. Not destroy the law. He had came to fulfill it. All things was going to be fulfilled then. You just got to really read it and look at it. Like, erase what you already understood, if it's other than what I'm talking about, and really read what they're saying. Read the context, read the lingo, read the verbiage. And if you need help with other parts of it, I'll be more than happy to help. But at that time, he said, for verily think that I not come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. So he had came at that time to fulfill the law and the words of the prophets, which we all know, if we can keep it 100% real, he did, right? He fulfilled all the laws, and he fulfilled everything the prophet. He was the fulfillment of the prophets. They only talked about him anyway, right? And let's go back. And then verse 18, for verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, meaning till the powers that be in Jerusalem and Jerusalem pass, get destroyed, knocked down, taken out, however you want to put it, right? Until then, right, not one jot or tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled, right? So he's saying you still got to do the law until Jerusalem fall. Like, that's the shortcut of saying it, right? You still got to do all those laws and statutes and commandments and stuff like that that was burdening them down. You still had to try your best, right? And then, all right, let me just touch on 19 real quick, right? Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall not and shall teach men to do so, right? He shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven, right? In what kingdom? In that kingdom of heaven, right? But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. Now he was referring to Jerusalem, right? At that time, that's the kingdom of heaven and those powers, right? So according to the powers that be in control at that time, you will, if you talked against it, you'll be slandered. You'll be a bad guy. If you talk to do it, you'll be a good guy in their eyesight. Technically, that's all it. That's all it's saying. It's not saying that you have to continue to do these things, stretching it out thousands of years at all. Definitely apologize for anybody out there that reads it and get anything other than that. And the day that it's supposed to stop, right? The day that they were, supposed to stop following the Mosaic covenantal laws was the day that he said, which was said in 17, right? Well, yeah. When no, it was in 18 when he said, till heaven and earth pass. Now, again, if we understand what heaven is, which was the powers of being in Jerusalem at that time, it wasn't talking about the sky, and earth was talking about the land, which was the land of Jerusalem. So there's talking about the temple, the people in control of the temple and Jerusalem at the time. And the actual Jerusalem itself, the landmass, was going to be toggled down. Now, if you want to do this on your own, right, I can Google it. It's easy, but I have also plenty of books from the ancient cultures of Hebrews too, saying this stuff. But it's an easy find for any of you guys. I'm not even going to go into it. When did Jerusalem get destroyed? Right around the time that Christ was on the planet, or right after he left the planet, depending on how you want to look at it, right? So when did Jerusalem get destroyed? When did that land get destroyed? When did the temple get destroyed? When was it? I know when it was, because I know real history, right? And I challenge any of you guys to actually research this for yourself, this topic of when that happened, because it clearly said right here to you that that's what happened. It clearly said that that's when everything was going to be fulfilled. And if you don't, I'll give you a little bit more, right? I didn't really want to jump into something else, but I'm going to go ahead. We're going to stay in Matthew, and we're going to go to Matthew 24 real quick, right? And I'm going after these 3 verses, right? Matthew 24, we're going to read 1, 2, and 3, right? And he's talking to his disciples at this time, again, telling you his second coming, telling you when everything will be fulfilled, because it's going to be fulfilled upon his second coming. And this is the information he gives you as the sign of his arrival or his coming back, right? And Jesus went out and departed from the temple. So he was in the temple, right? So now he departed out of the temple. And his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple, right? So now they're looking at the temple. Oh, yeah, this is nice. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Right? Something like that. I'm just imagining, right? So then, and Jesus said unto them, see ye not all these things? So what is he talking about? All what things? The temple, right? That's where they was at. That's where he just came out of. That's what everybody just said they was looking. If you read in context, everything is about the temple at this moment. So he said, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another. That means it won't be standing. They won't be stacked up anymore. They won't be on top of each other. That shall not be thrown down. And then he sat down upon the Mount of Olives, and his disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? So he's like, so tell us when you're going to destroy this stuff, right? Because this is his signal of his sign of his coming back. And he's like, yo, so when we going to see this? When we going to see this? And what shall be the sign of thy coming? See, I'll be jumping ahead of myself because I know it so bad. I'll be answering the question before I actually proposed it inside of the scripture. I'm sorry, right? And of the end of the world, which is really not world, is age. And if you didn't know that, you really got to go into the word searches and understand the actual, I was about to say Hebrew, my bad. The Greek word at that time is really age. You can do your own study. I'm not here to try to do a full out study for you like that for me, but you can research this on your own. It's not talking about world like the globe that we know today. It's talking about age. And age is a time frame. It's a time period. That's what age is. Do your own study. Find that out for yourself. You ain't got to take my word for it. I got nothing to hide. And the age they was talking about was the Mosaic covenant age. The same thing we was just talking about in Matthew 5. That same thing, it was going to say it's the end of the world, of that age, right? And Jesus answered and said unto them, take heed, not no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. Well, actually, I'm not even going to go there. And then you hear the wars and rumors of wars. I'm not going to go through all that, right? All that is just extra verbiage telling them and warning them not to believe everything everybody else say about his coming back, or if they are him coming back, or all that other stuff, right? He's warning you because he already told you when he's coming back. He told you when the sign was, when there's no stone left upon another. All of it is thrown down. And we can go in real history and find out when that was. We can literally go into it, right? I'm not going to tell you when. Research the first century, right? When and how the whole temple and Jerusalem and everything got destroyed and turned down. Do that on your own. I'm not even going to break it down to you. I'll let you do it on your own so you can see with your own eyes. Do a historical research on real facts of Jerusalem and what happened. I know who did it. I know who was used to actually destroy it. Who Christ actually used to show his authority and his power. You feel me? While y'all still waiting for him to float out the sky, and that never happened, right? Anytime the judgment came down anywhere in the Torah, anywhere else, it was always using the powers of another nation or another civilization, or however you want to put it, to serve judgment on the other civilization or nation or whatever the case may be. That's how judgment was always passed like that. And why y'all waiting for it to be passed a different way this time, I don't understand. But I'm not mad at you, but I just don't understand it. What he did was exactly what he always did. The Most High let another nation come and serve judgment upon the people that did kill the prophets. Who killed the prophets? Judah, the tribe of Judah, basically, because they was kind of like the people in charge at the time. They were like the main Pharisees. Do your real historical research. Don't listen to nobody else tell you it was somebody, the Kenazi Jews, because this was actually before them was really even set up in power. So I don't even want to hear none of that, right? Pharisees actually did it from the tribe of Judah. They was the ones who did it. Know what I mean? They was the ones that killed the prophets, and killed Christ himself. You feel me? And they had to get destroyed for not believing. And it's just, it's in there when you read it. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Something just went off. My bad. So that's basically what everything is about, man. Like 70 AD. Oh, my bad. I just gave you the time zone and when it happened. I told y'all to research that. Dang, my bad, yo. But you can research it for yourself still. Find out who destroyed the temple, Jerusalem, the powers that be that ran them out of there. Any Mosaic covenant followers would know this. you're not like you're not supposed to do those. I meant to say non-Mosaic covenant followers know that you're not supposed to do the laws, statutes, and commandments that was given to the Moses, which is the Mosaic covenant, after everything was fulfilled, right? Everything was fulfilled then. Everything was fulfilled then. You don't have to do any of that stuff. That stuff was just for a land promise anyway. It was only for Jerusalem anyway. It wasn't for every place else in the globe that we know today. It was just so that they can get the land that was promised to Abraham. But they'll switch that up. Even though you read through Deuteronomy, every time it tells you, do my commandments so you can live in here forever, either right before or right after it, so you can possess the land, so you can enter the land, so you and your family can live forever in the land. That's all it ever said. So anybody saying it was outside of a land promise to do the all those Mosaic covenant to law, statutes, and commandments is very, very much so mistaken. Very much so. Know what I mean? But I didn't want to come in here too long. I came in something light. This was very, very light. You know what I mean? For those that's just coming in at the end, it's a short video, man. You can go ahead and replay it. For those that listen to the whole thing, I appreciate you, man. If you ever in your life want to study, and get a good understanding of what the Bible is saying, all the idioms and all the real meanings behind a lot of the verbiage and stuff like that, and not try to just piece it together based off, the 21st century thought process. You know what I mean? Of, the words in our dictionary. If you want to go ahead and learn the ancient Hebrew thought process and the ancient Greek thought process, so that you'll know exactly what their idioms is. I like to call them bars. You know what I mean? I'm like a retired rapper. Look, I got bars, right? So I like to call them bars. But just their lingo, like we talk together now, they had their own lingo back then. So in order for people 2,000 years from now to understand what we meant on certain things that we might write, they're going to have to study the whole hip-hop pop culture from the 70s, 80s, and 90s and 2000s and stuff like that to actually understand what we're talking about. And briefly, let me just give you a synopsis of what I mean. How come people really don't understand the Bible until they do what I said? Let me just give you a brief synopsis. So if I told one of y'all that, she my girl right there, she bad in the mug, right? Yo, when I seen her, I had to bag her. You smell me? Now y'all know what I meant, right? She looked good. You know what I mean? When I seen her, I had to approach her and make her mine, and you understand where I'm coming from at the end. Now, if I wrote that down on a piece of paper and somebody 2,000 years from now read that, right, without studying our culture over the last decade, or actually the last generation, last 30, 40 years, if they didn't understand our culture, they're not going to know what I was talking about. They're going to say, she bad in the mouth, so that means she's bad, evil, like a person that would F their own moms, right? And then I said, what else I said? She bad in the mofo. I had to bag her. They're going to think I kidnapped her because she was so evil, probably. You know what I mean? And then when I said you smell me at the end, meaning you understand what I mean, you understand what I'm coming from, you smell me, they're going to think maybe I was musty or something because I kidnapped them, it was a hard job, or they're going to make some weirdo parable based on what they have at that time and their books and their understanding of part of the world they're in. So that's how you have to read the Bible. You have to understand contextually what they're saying in context. Also, you got to understand what their idioms was, their lingo, how they communicated, their words that they mean. Like when they was talking about heaven, they wasn't talking about the sky. When they was talking about the world, they wasn't talking about the globe as we know it today. They had bars. Just that's it. For lack of a better way of saying it, they had bars. But yeah, quick one. I'm out though. Appreciate everybody that tunes in. Keep on tuning in. I need y'all to subscribe to the channel, RPK, Resurrection Prophecy Kingdom, on YouTube. I want you to click the bell and subscribe to that, right? I need you to subscribe, click the bell, share it, do all that good stuff. Salute to my man, Elvin Israel. That's my guy, Elvin Israel. Know what I mean? My man, Yona J. Know what I mean? Appreciate everybody that tuned in. Salute to my guy, Dr. William Bell. That's my guy for sure. And that's about it. I'm out. Shalom.